good.
Hey, Russell, do you want to open a collector booster pack?
Absolutely. Who would ever say
Awesome.
no to that? Love the art of this set. It's exciting to go back to Lorwyn and to see all the new and interesting stuff. Appreciate that they're very, very tightly sealed. Let's see if I can get this open without bending any of the cards. Here we go. We're getting somewhere. All right. I always like my packs rare last. So let's make sure we know which direction that we're going here. Okay, good. Spiral into Solitude. This is an aura. We have our common foils first. It's a good pacifism, can't attack or block, but it also gives you an activated ability to sack it, blight one, and exile a creature. That's pretty good removal in limited. I would love to open that if I were on a pre-release. Surly Farrier. This is a Kithkin. We can tap. Target creature you control gets +1/+1. Vigilance until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. Kind of telegraphed. Not going to be great as a combat trick, but I like it. Enraged Flamecaster. Elemental Sorcerer with Reach. When you cast a spell with mana value 4 or greater, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. Yeah, definitely in the later game, it might give you that little bit of extended in a limited environment like pre-releases. Runaway Together. Sounds like removal. Looks like removal. Choose 2 target creatures controlled by different players. Return those creatures to their owner's hand. I could see value in bouncing a cheap enters the battlefield creature to your own hand. I could see you blocking and using this as a combat trick where you get your blocker back and then you bounce their big attacker that's unblocked to kind of 2-for-1 them. That could be cool. Timid Shield Bearer. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Nice little anthem on a little guy. We're getting to our uncommons here. Luminolisk, like a mollusk almost. An elemental with death touch, Vivid. When this creature enters, you gain life equal to the number of colors among permanents you control. I like Vivid as a mechanic. I like having lots of different colors because I'm greedy. As a player, I like having like 3 or 4 colors, and that's really going to pay off. Hovel Hurler, a giant warrior, enters with 2 -1/-1 counters on it. With hybrid red-white mana, remove a counter from this creature. Another creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains flying until end of turn. Really nice little onboard combat trick, but remember, this gets bigger as you're taking counters off of it. So you're kind of getting a benefit for one of your creatures and for this guy too. I also really love the enters with -1/-1 counters that we're doing with this set because it plays into the synergy with -1/-1 counters. And it also gives you just a way to get a really high rate creature for a lot cheaper out earlier. All right, we're getting into the good stuff now. So that's kind of our meat and potatoes. Let's get to the really fun stuff. We have an alternate art Boggart Curse Crafter for black and red. Goblin Warlock with Death Touch. When another goblin you control dies, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. Great if I'm drafting for goblins. Great if I'm building goblin decks. Not so great potentially in my limited pool if this is one of the only goblins that I'm getting, but I suspect changelings could help me get there. We have Twin Flame Travelers, Elemental Sorcerer with Flying. If a triggered ability of another elemental you control triggers, it triggers an additional time. We love Panharmonicon effects here. We love them so much. This looks like the uncommon kind of signpost for your drafting. If you want elementals, this is the thing you want to be able to make all your elementals that much better. We take that removal spell from earlier where you're bouncing things back to your hand. You're happily replaying stuff that gets double triggers after that. We have a really lovely looking island that looks like it might be the Shadowmoor version of this area. The moon is out as opposed to our sun. Lorwyn and Shadowmoor being reflections of the same plane. One is dark, one is light. We're looking like a dark-sided Shadowmoor island here. All right, first rare of our pack, Sapling Nursery, 8 mana enchantment with affinity for forests. That means this could come down as early as turn 4 as a 4/4. It has landfall. When a land you control enters, create a 3/4 green tree folk creature token with reach. And for 2, exile this enchantment. Tree folk and forest you control get indestructible until end of turn. Nice protection for your big board state. If you're spending a lot of mana on those creatures, you want something that's going to protect them. And getting all this stuff out, investing all that money, feels bad if they get wiped out of the way. So that's a good way to take care of your things later on. Belonging, one of our elemental incarnations for 5 and a white. When this creature enters, make 3 1/1 colorless shapeshifter creature tokens with changelings. It has its own family. It brings its own little family of changelings, and they're all belonging, and that's awesome. And it's 4 bodies in 1. That's great. It has an encore ability for 6 and white, which, if I remember my encore, this is better for your multiplayer games because it'll bring 1 copy back for every opponent, which is why this is the commander set symbol. So this is a commander set card. All right. Glen Alendra Guardian with alternate art, borderless. This is 2 in a blue for a fairy wizard. Flash and flying. This creature enters with a -1/-1 counter. It's a 3/4, so it'll come in as a 2/3. And you can remove a counter for the creature to counter target non-creature spell. Its controller draws a card. We don't like giving our opponents cards, but if you need to, sometimes you gotta. Another alternate art, Aurora Awakener, 6 and a green. This is a giant druid. This is a mythic with trample and vivid. When it enters, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X permanent cards. X is the number of colors among permanents you control. But any number of those permanent cards on the battlefield. Put the rest of the revealed cards at the bottom of your library in a random order. It's Genesis Wave. Little kind of mini Genesis Wave, it feels like, because you're having multiple colored spells. Remember that your hybrid mana spells are 2 colors. So if you have like a hybrid red-white giant out already, that's 2 of your colors. And that can really rape you into, with only 1 or 2 creatures, getting like 4 or even 5 colors of elementals to be able to do that. So this is a good payoff for having a big multicolored deck, a big splashy card. Scuzzback Scrounger are rare with the foil treatment on that as well. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may blight 1. If you do, create a treasure token. Blighting, again, putting -1/-1 counters on your creatures. I think we're happy to make those kind of trade-offs. Get counters, get treasures. Who wouldn't want to do that? And some awesome art for our final card. So really awesome pack. I love Aurora Awakener. There's just a lot of value for that. The art on these is so good. Glen Alendra Guardian, hard to pick among them, but I think that Sapperling Nursery is the card that I would build a deck around, and I would throw Aurora Awakener into anything that just has lots and lots of different colors in it. So really excited for Lorwyn. Happy to open the pack and happy to do so at Green Door.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Russell.
Bye.